Former Assistant City Attorney Stuart Shapiro has reached a settlement agreement with the City of Denver regarding his whistleblower claim. Shapiro will be paid $660,000 and issued an apology from the city. The Shapiro case stems from his calling out the city's attorney's office for wrongdoing in the case of former inmate Jamal Hunter. David, $660,000, you add that to what's already been paid out to Jamal Hunter's family, that's almost $4 million. Do Denver taxpayers need to know more about the issues behind these settlements?
Well, yeah, and the Jamal Hunter settlement was certainly a very public thing, and people knew exactly what it was, and there were serious crimes committed against him while he was in the sheriff's department custody. So we know that. The Attorney Shapiro thing, we certainly don't know enough yet about what's going on with the facts behind this $600,000. When Shapiro was the attorney defending the city in the Hunter lawsuit, he was very sternly and at length publicly rebuked by federal district court judge John Kane. John Kane has been one of the great Colorado judges over the last several decades. If John Kane says it, that's enough for me, and I believe it. So on the one hand, Shapiro looks like he was the wrongdoer there. And, you know, in the newspaper articles, his dispute with the city was, well, the city says, our sheriff's deputies really messed this guy up quite criminally. Let's pay him $3.2 million to $5 million for his injuries. And Shapiro says, which was correct as a matter of law, oh, let's just go to trial because we have no defense at trial. We'll definitely lose, and the jury will come back with a verdict in about 90 seconds, but the maximum verdict against us will be $1 million by law. So that we'll save the taxpayers $2 million. But I kind of think that if the guy was injured, the city was right to actually compensate him properly. But yet there's all this stuff behind the scenes we don't really understand about how Shapiro turned into the guy who was being persecuted. The good thing is the new city attorney is going to be someone from the Rothgerber law firm, which was actually hired by the city of Denver to do an investigation, create a report, which hasn't been released yet, about what's wrong and how to improve the city attorney's office.
And one of the really rare parts of this whole story is that there's going to be an apology issued from the city. We've seen the city pay out settlements to a variety of folks, but to have a big payment and an apology, it seems to be this big red flag announcing the rest of the community that there's something else here. Is that what, and we're still learning about this, is that what you're looking at as we look at the peripheral case so far?
It's odd to see that, and I wonder if it almost might go the opposite way. I wonder if the apology is worth a certain amount of money that they can take off this settlement, quite frankly. I mean, there's a very big symbolic gesture to be made here by saying, we were in the wrong, and oh, we're glad you still work for us. You know, how much can we knock you down on there in terms of what we need to pay you? I don't know, this is so opaque right now that it's hard to say exactly who went wrong where, other than pretty much everyone involved in the Jamal Hunter situation was wrong. I think what it's going to show, though, is that when Kristen Bronson comes in to be the new city attorney, she's got a lot more in her hands just than the cases that are on her plate. She's really got to look at doing some office cleaning at this point and changing the culture there.
Ian, you see headlines like this, a huge settlement and an apology. What do you think?
Well, I'm grateful to be a Lakewood taxpayer this time, that's for sure. You know, I think Ed's right, but I also think everybody was, insofar as everybody was wrong, I think everybody was also right here. That's what's most confusing about this story. This guy did the right thing, ultimately, and the city did the right thing in suspending him for a little bit. And then everybody did the wrong thing thereafter. I mean, it's just very, very confusing. You know, at the end of the day, I'm sad that the city is spending so much money settling this case in lots of different ways. I'm glad that Jamal Hunter and his family are getting essentially, I think, what they deserve, maybe more. You never can really put a price on these things. But at the end of the day, like, the city's got some real problems that they're still struggling with. Affordable housing, homelessness is rampant, millennials who are being able to work here but can't afford a place to live here. And then you're seeing big payouts like this. I just think it sends a bad message.
Patty, do you think that does this close the door on it? Does it go away? I imagine that's what the city would like to do. Or because of the magnitude of it and that there's an apology attached, does it reopen the wound and possibly for more investigation?
I hope it does reopen it. The city council has to sign off on this on Monday night. I mean, the Jamal Hunter settlement is already a done deal. But on the Stuart Shapiro deal, the city council has to do it. This is a new city council. that there's some new members, Kevin Flynn, who's been at this table, people who know to ask questions. So I think some of those questions will be asked. Where the Rothberger study of the city attorney's office is a good question. Where is that? Why is it not coming out? As I understand it, Bronson didn't work on that study, but she was at the firm. Certainly she's got to want to see it and see what needs to be changed. The culture there is almost beyond trying to figure out, but we know the city should probably have hired Hillary Clinton's attorney to deal with the email question when somehow their emails just weren't available on this case for Jamal Hunter's attorneys.